Yeah, good morning, all the participants and the organizer. First of all, I want to thank the organizer for giving me a nice opportunity. And I have visited your college for several times. It's a lovely place, and very nice students. After each talk, I used to face a lot of questions from your college students. That we want the questions, the volume of questions, and also the quality of questions will turn the research in a very good direction. So actually, a good researcher, we need a very nice questions. So sharing the information in such a webinar will be helpful for you. You can get more information, one thing. And for us, it's very nice. We can have a lot of questions, variety of thoughts from you. So, in delivering lectures, both are benefited. And also, right now I am in a small village called Atur. That's in southern part of Tamil Nadu. And, my university is in a city called Tirunelveli. That city is much, famous for Alva. And here, Calicut also the same. I have been in Calicut for several times. I could see variety of, Alva. And here in Tirunelveli also the same. The city is really famous around the world for Alva. And here, Mansur, the slide is missing.
Slide is missing.
Is there? Hello?
Is it okay, sir?
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, not yet. Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, I think you muted me. Hello?
No,
Hello,
sir.
Okay, I couldn't see the slide. Are you sharing the slide?
Yes, of course, sir. Of course, sir.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Hello.
Yeah, full screen.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes. And this slide, for today's presentation, the slide I have prepared for biotechnology students. Those who have better biological knowledge, especially the biotechnology students, can follow very well. But for others, it may be a little difficult because, the program has been organized by biotechnology department. So I have to give importance to biotechnology students. So I collected the information which is much important for biotechnology students because the knowledge will help you for getting your degree also. Okay. Yeah, can I have next slide? Yeah, but sure. Please. Yeah. So see here. Yeah, see here. Here I have shown. Here I have shown 5 different Yeah, please mute your mic. Please mute your mic. A lot of background sound I'm having, so it's disturbing. Okay. Yeah. This slide shows the macromolecule, 5 of them. One is DNA, another one is RNA, protein, carbohydrate, and lipids. So the bacteria from bacteria to human, all living systems are made up of the five macromolecule. Even the small virus, the coronavirus, also made up of the five macromolecule. Okay, so we have to understand the basic biology. So all living creature from bacteria to human, all made up of the five macromolecule, including the coronavirus. Okay, next slide, please. Yeah, see here, I have shown you a prokaryotic cell, that's a bacteria, and a eukaryotic cell, human cell I have shown. These cells are having this five macromolecule, they can, divide and make exactly the same copy of the organism. The cell can duplicate, okay? Similarly, the virus also. Okay, we can see slowly the difference between our cells and also the virus. Okay, it's very much important to understand the difference. Then only we can understand the virus thoroughly for our betterment. Okay, next slide, please. Yeah, see here the pandemics. Pandemics are not new. Exactly like 100 years ago, we had a flu, a Spanish flu, and that killed, lakhs and lakhs of people at that time. And that outbreak happened like in three phases. First phase is small scale. Second phase also a little bit small scale. And third phase, the virus killed a lot of population at that time. Now, this slide shows you 90 years of pandemic. In 1931, Rift Valley fever came, and then 1947, Zika virus came, and 1967, your virus came from monkey, and then Lassa virus that emerged on 1969. And then 1976, Ebola came. That's very deadly virus. The mortality is about 85%. In 100, if 100% are infected, 85% will be killed by Ebola virus. Luckily, the coronavirus, the COVID-19 is not that case. The coronavirus now, the death rate around the world, if we can analyze, it's around 4%. But think about Ebola, the mortality rate is about 97%. Then Hendra virus came on 1994, and then 97, the avian flu came. Then Nipah came in, in East Asian country on 99, and then Uganda again the Ebola outbreak came. Then 2003, the SARS, SARS virus came from China, and that infected around 8,000 people. Okay. Then again, 2005, H5N1, the flu came from Asia again. And then, 2009, swine flu came and killed around 280,000 people. Okay. And then from the Middle East, the MERS came on 2012. Then again, in African countries, the Ebola outbreak came, and over 10,000 people were infected. Now we are quarantined. We are in our home, and this is the corona period. It's emerged from China. Okay, may I have next slide, please? Yeah, the virus also like other animals. See, the mouse size is so small. The elephant is very big. Each animal, they have a distinct shape and size. Similarly, the virus also. If we see the papilloma virus is like hexagonal in shape, and coronavirus in a spear-like shape. And smallpox is around the oval shape, and Ebola virus is like a worm-like shape. And rabies virus is almost bullet shaped, but all the virus, they have one genetic material. Also, they have a protein around that genetic material. Very simple organism, we can say. But they we can call them as a living system. Also, we can call them as a non-living system. Outside, a host cell, they are non-living. Inside the host cell, they are living, we can say. Okay, may I have next slide, please? Yes, this is the coronavirus. Corona means crown. The word corona means crown. When we see the virus under microscope, the virus looks like a crown. So that the scientist named as coronavirus. So for the reason of structure like a crown, the spike protein around that virus is the reason. Also, the virus didn't have any exact shape. It's a polymorphic in shape, pleomorphic. Okay, so we can say. So some of them is really sphere and some of them are really oval. So shape is not exactly the same always. Looks like, when we pour some water in a balloon and when we tie, depending upon the surface, the shape of the balloon will change. Okay. So likewise, the virus is, a very dedicated particle. The shape will vary. Okay. And if you see the virus, the virus has RNA genome. Okay, very long RNA genome, 30 kb RNA genome. This is one of the largest RNA genome virus. Okay, the genome size is so big. And around the RNA molecule, some proteins are coated. Okay, and they are called nucleoproteins. They can bind with RNA and they protect RNA from various environmental factors. And around this nucleoparticle, a membrane is there. Lipid bilayer membrane is there. Okay, that derived from the host cell actually. And then, there are some protein in this membrane. So some of them are called as membrane protein. And also that's a spike protein. Okay, that gives the structure of crown actually. The spike protein is a little bit bigger size of protein. Okay, and can I have next slide, please? Yeah, I already told you the virus is non-living outside the body. The virus is living inside the host cell. So assume a virus, any virus, okay, if they are outside the cell or the host cell, they can be destroyed by natural factors like temperature, like chemicals, weather condition. They can destroy the virus. Of course, the virus can be they can be intact for a very, very long time. Okay, for example, inside any bone, the virus can be very safe. Okay, it can be stable for a very long time. The virus, if they can enter in a cell, you all know what is cell. It has you should know. Okay, assume the virus is entering inside. Immediately, what will happen? The entire structure will be dissolved. The genetic material will be released in the cytoplasm of the cell. Assume the coronavirus, okay, is just entering inside. So the genetic material will be released, will be used by our cell. Our cell will recognize the mRNA, and then immediately it will start protein synthesis. Also, it will start mRNA synthesis. So RNA synthesis and also protein synthesis is going on inside our cell, and then a lot of RNA, viral RNA, and also a lot of viral proteins are produced in our cell. So the newly synthesized RNA molecule and protein molecule, they assemble and then they can generate virus. So what happened? All those viruses, they rupture the cells, then they can come out. Eventually the cell will be killed. So the virus will enter into other healthy cell, and slowly they, you know, uh, uh, conquer the entire body. That's a nature of virus. So almost you know, you know, for example, assume I'm Dr. Sudhakar. Okay, I'm entering into the house. Okay, I imagine I'm a virus. Okay, I'm entering into a house. Assume your cell, your home is a cell. Okay, just I'm entering into this your house. I'm ordering you to cook. So you are cooking for me. I'm just you know, occupy your bed, and I'm not allowing anybody inside. Okay, so I'm the whole total entire house is under control of me now. Okay, so you are cooking for me. I'm eating, and I'm not allowing you to do anything. All family members are working for me. So what happens slowly? You know, the control you lose. The total control is under my control. You know, so that's what's happening. Okay, so virus enters into our cell, and complete control of cell is goes to the virus, and virus utilize all the machineries of our cell, because virus you know, doesn't have the virus they don't have actually the protein synthesis machinery and RNA synthesis machinery. The virus, they don't have. Okay, and we have. So you know what happened, all those very nice sophisticated machinery, okay, the protein synthesizing machinery and RNA synthesizing machineries to produce their progeny. So eventually viral progeny will be produced, and then the newly produced virus, millions of the virus, they kill the cell, then they come outside. That's what's happening. Okay, next slide please. Yeah. See, who is smarter, virus or human? You know, we are around 60, 70 kg people, you know, but virus is not even, you know, a milligram, not even a microgram. It's around a nanogram. You know, the virus is around, 200 nanogram size. Okay. Very tiny particle. Okay. So if the tiny particle is intellectually competing with us, that's amazing. You know, for example, see the rabies virus. Okay, if a person is infected by rabies, the virus, you know, change complete behavior of the person. Okay, and you know, he's scratching the hand here and there, and he's also biting the teeth. And so, if anybody goes near to him, he will scratch or he will bite. Okay, yeah, he won't do it, but the virus asks him to do that because the virus wants to enter into other healthy body. That's what the virus is changing the behavior of the human, and he's you know, behaving like that. So such a tiny small virus is changing a big human you know, behavior. Okay, for their you know, better future. Okay, next slide please. Yeah, see here, this is a brilliant baculovirus. The baculovirus, you know, the virus is on the plant leaf actually. Actually, the virus is on soil, then eventually it can be coated on a plant leaf. The caterpillar, that's actually the worm, you know, they eat the leaf, the plant leaf, and virus enter inside. Immediately what happened, you know, the virus ordered the caterpillar to climb on the top of the plant. So the caterpillar is doing, you know, is obeying the order of virus, and it goes to top of the plant. Then the virus asked the, you know, caterpillar to hang upside down. The caterpillar is doing, virus is asking, so the caterpillar is doing, and they are hanging upside down. Then the virus is killing all the cells of the caterpillar. Okay, entire mass of the caterpillar body now are converted into virus. The virus is oozing out now, is in a liquid form, in a semi-fluid form. The virus now is oozing from the mouth of the caterpillar, and the virus now is coated on all the leaf of the plant. So the wind helps that. Also, the height and wind helps for spreading the virus all over the plant. So any other caterpillar, they can reach the plant, will be infected. So see how smart the virus. Okay, so that's what's happening. Okay, very dangerous. Okay, yeah. Next slide, please. Yes. So there are many virus for plant cells. Also, there are many plants virus for human cells and monkey cells. All animals they have their own virus. Okay, and even bacteria they have virus. Bacteriophage. Some virus can kill even bacteria. Some virus can kill even plant cells. Okay, some virus can kill human. Some virus can kill even fish. So almost all living system they have their own virus. Simply, I will ask a question: what's the source of the virus? Suddenly, what happened to the world? Now we are suffering from the COVID-19. What's the real source of the virus? What I believe, this is the cause of deforestation. Okay, we are cutting all the trees. We are destroying forests. We are disturbing the animal which are living inside. As I told, each animal system they have virus. So now what happened? We are destroying the forest. Though now animals are coming outside. Not only animals, their biosphere, the organism which are living in that animal also coming outside. So their virus may be very slow virus in animal body, but in human they are very powerful. That's what happened. So somewhere I don't want to believe, I don't want to blame any country, but somewhere the deforestation was more, and animal were disturbed, and from the animal the disease came to human. Now we are suffering. So the nature, we have to keep the nature nice. Then we can live happily. Otherwise, we have to pay the penalty as we are doing now. Okay. Next slide, please. Sure. Next slide. Yes. So COVID, SARS-CoV-1. Okay. SARS-CoV-1 is also coronavirus, and this COVID-19 also coronavirus. Structurally, they are very similar. Okay, genome-wise, they have around 87% homology. Genome-wise, homology is around 87%. And structural-wise, this SARS-CoV-1, the virus has HE protein on membrane, but SARS-CoV-2 is not having that protein. Okay, otherwise, structurally, the SARS-CoV-1 and SARS-CoV-2 are the same type of virus. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, see here, this is the information about the virus. So far, the virus has affected 2,37,20,392 persons. Okay, this data is yesterday evening data. Okay, 2,37,20,392 persons were infected by the coronavirus. The death so far is 8,09,495 people were dead due to this viral infection. So this is the case. So now looks like, see the daily cases of patient. Okay, the graphs of, if you observe carefully, the slowly, from the highest infection rate, slowly the infection is coming down. So we can understand that, so the virus, the era of the virus going to be slow down. Okay, and we can have a nice life, shortly. Looks like the virus problem is coming down in daily cases of the virus. See, the daily death rate is also coming down. For example, in the month of June or in the month of March, see the month of March, every week around 1 lakh people were infected. At that time, you know, the death rate was around 7,500 people were dead. Okay, now per week around 3 lakh people were infected. See here, the death rate is around 6,000. So the death rate also, came down. The expected death rate for such a huge number of infection rate, 25,000 should be. But now around, only around 6,000 people were dying per week. Okay. So this is what's happening. The intensive nature of the viral pandemic is slowly coming down. We are getting relief. Okay. The data clearly shows. Okay. And I don't know, we can see whether it's a herd immunity or the reason for the very less death rate. Before like four months ago, the death rate was so high. Now the death rate is so less. Okay, reason maybe we are having the herd immunity, or we may have better the treatment. We could understand the progress of disease. The hospital and doctors, they develop a little bit of they know a little bit how to handle the patient. That either the two may be the reason. We can check what may be the correct one. We can check later. Okay. Next slide, please. Yeah, see here. This is the data. Students, if you want to see little clearly, enlarge the slide. You can have a nice thing. Otherwise, you can go for slides shot. Sorry, the screenshot. Later, you can enlarge and see what is inside. Okay. So now in India, around 3,01,000. How much? Yeah, 31 lakh people were infected, and around the death rate is around 57,692. But the infection in US is around 5,87,000. 58 lakhs 87,000 and 146 people. So the infection wise, we are in third place now. Okay, and yeah, so before us, Brazil have more patients, and then first place is in US. But luckily, see that China is the place where the virus emerged. Yeah, China is the place where the virus emerged, but now there is not much infection in China. So Chinese manage the situation really well because they are a communist country. The law and order will be very strict there. That may be the reason for successful control of the virus in China. But the democratic country like US and India, it's very difficult to manage huge population, by the democratic law. Okay, we have a full freedom, 100% freedom. So it's very difficult to control the disease in India and US like countries. Okay, next slide, please. Yeah, next slide. Yeah. So this is the viral genome. The viral genome is around 30,000 bases, 30K, the viral genome, and it has around 14 ORF. ORF means open reading frame. Open reading frame means the codon starts from ATG, the first codon to last codon is called ORF. That means the information to produce a protein in RNA is called ORF. The information to produce protein in an RNA is called ORF from first codon to last codon. Okay, usually the biotechnology students, very well, one mRNA can encode one protein in eukaryotic system. Okay, the prokaryotes, one mRNA can encode many proteins. polycistronic actually. The prokaryotic mRNAs are polycistronic, but our RNA is monocistronic. But this virus, one mRNA, but they can encode for many proteins. For example, ORF1A. ORF1A, they produce very long protein. It's a polyprotein, we can say. So one long protein, after synthesis, several proteases, cleave the protein, very large protein into small fragment. All individual fragment, they act as a separate protein, individual protein. So initially large protein will be produced. After production, they are chopped off, and each piece, they act as a protein. So this is a polyprotein, we can say. So this is a little bit, we have to careful biotechnology students. Okay, so this is very different, okay, when compared with our genome and RNA and protein synthesis. But this proteins, the viral protein is much different. So likewise, this viral genome is having 14 mRNA, and it produces more than 28 proteins. Okay, and they, for many of them, even we don't know what's the function. For some we know already, but for many we don't know what's the function of the gene. Okay, so that's a problem. Still we are suffering to control the disease. So another thing, you may think, biotechnology students may think, why we are suffering. A lot of people are here. Technology has developed a lot, but still now we couldn't develop any medicine for this virus. What happened? The question is very common among the student side. The reason is the virus is also made up of 5 macromolecules: DNA, RNA, lipid, protein, carbohydrate, and our cell also made up of the 5. Okay, DNA, protein, RNA, carbohydrate, and lipid. So very difficult to distinguish. Okay, where is the protein? Where is the virus? Okay, by our our knowledge. Okay, one more thing. The virus use our machinery, protein synthesis machinery and RNA synthesis machinery. The virus using our machinery. If they have their own machinery, then it's very easy for us to stop that. Okay, and since the virus is using our own machinery, we couldn't develop medicine to stop the replication of the virus. Okay, and that's a problem. Okay, since the virus is using our own machinery, we can't stop DNA, we can't stop the RNA synthesis. Also, we can't stop the protein synthesis. That's a difficulty for us, to cure or to find a medicine for this virus. Okay, next slide, please. Yeah, see here, there are 5. There are 4. Structural protein in this virus, SARS-CoV-2, 5 structural protein. One is spike protein. Okay, this is like the spike-like structure around the virus is made up of spike protein. And second one is the membrane protein. The blue color material shown in that cartoon of the virus is a membrane glycoprotein. That's called M protein. Spike protein, we can call that as a S protein. And then we have a envelope protein. Okay, envelope protein is a brown in this membrane, is a E protein, or otherwise we are calling as a envelope protein. Then last one is a nucleocapsid protein. That's is a bound form of RNA. They are always bound with RNA. Okay, this is all the 4 structural protein of SARS-CoV-2. So SARS-CoV-2 causes COVID-19. Okay, COVID-19 means disease. SARS-CoV-2 is a virus. Okay, next slide, please. So here, especially see here the biotechnology students, this is the membrane. These 3 proteins are present in the membrane of the virus. Okay, one is S protein, that's a spike protein. Okay, this S protein is also glycosylated. Glycosylated means the protein in the protein chain, in amino acid sequence of the protein. The carbohydrate has been loaded in several places. The carbohydrate has been loaded. If a protein sequence is incorporated with a carbohydrate, then we are calling them as a glycoprotein. So S protein is a glycoprotein. Okay, glycoprotein, addition of carbohydrate in a protein sequence that increase the stability of the protein. Okay, mostly. Okay, another protein, the M protein. M protein also glycosylated. Okay, so this S and M protein are glycosylated. There is one more protein, E protein. That protein is not glycosylated. Okay, so these three proteins are on the membrane. Okay, and the nucleoprotein is inside the viral particle. It's bound with RNA genome. Okay, yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is a membrane glycoprotein of SARS-CoV-2. This protein is 222 amino acid size. Okay, so this protein has one extracellular domain. That means the protein domain is present outside the nuclear, outside the viral particle. Another one is a transmembrane domain. The cylindrical structure, three big cylindrical structures are there. That region is called transmembrane domain. And also one small domain that is bound with the inner membrane of the viral particle. Okay, is also a domain. And it has inside the virus, a small portion is there. Okay, that's intracellular, we can say. So N-terminal region of the protein is present in outside the viral particle. C-terminal is there inside the viral particle. Okay, again, I'm saying that the presentation is not for public actually. The presentation I designed for biotechnology students. I know your college students are very nice and very enthusiastic and wants to learn a lot. So that I'm giving you the molecular background of the virus, and that will give you much more understanding about the virus for biotechnology students. Okay, next slide, please. Yeah, this is a membrane glycoprotein, okay, of SARS-CoV-2. This is a little bit bigger protein, okay, around 220 amino acids. If you compare the protein sequence with other, viral membrane protein, other viral membrane protein means the coronavirus. So far, 7 different coronavirus has been found out. Okay, in human also, several bat also having coronavirus, even anteater also having coronavirus, and several coronavirus has been reported. Okay, so this all the coronavirus from the same viral family was taken out, and the comparison was made. The comparison told that the virus in a membrane glycoprotein, the sequence is almost same among the viral family. And then if you see the N-terminal region, there are some changes. Okay, so for example, ECD, I have marked ECD. The portion which are outside the viral particle is called ECD, extracellular domain. We can say that around 20 amino acid is protruding outside the viral particle. For developing neutralizing antibody, if you want to develop a neutralizing antibody, means the antibody can bind on active virus and then can neutralize the virus. Okay, such antibody, we can say that neutralizing antibody. For that purpose, the sequence is much important for developing antibody. So ECD region, we can use it, and a neutralizing antibody can be developed against this viral region. But all those other region, all the other region, are yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Hello?
sir. We
Yeah,
can
yeah.
hear you. Please carry, sir.
Yeah. So all other region like intracellular domain and the also transmembrane domain, all those protein is inside this viral particle. A small 20 amino acid alone is showing outside. So this region is much important for for developing the neutralizing antibody. Okay. Yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah. Next slide. Yes, see here, we want a specific antibody against SARS-CoV-2. Okay, this extreme N-terminal is good. around one epitope is around 6 amino acid. So the 6 amino acid region we can take from the C-terminal region of the virus, and the antibody can be developed. I'm showing all those information to you because these are the fundamental knowledge we should have to develop efficient vaccine and also efficient antibody to screen the viral infection. So, the viral antibody is much important because for one test, corona test, now we are paying around 4,500 rupees. Either you will pay or your government will pay. Okay, so there's a huge money we have to spend for screening the disease. But if we have antibody, nice antibody, specific antibody against this virus, then what will happen? Per test will be around, 50 rupee or 100 rupee. With a less money, we can screen people. That's what I'm telling the importance of the viral protein sequence. That's very nice for development of antibody and also for development of vaccine. Okay, next slide, please. So see here, this is the pathetic situation. Even small portion of the viral membrane protein is showing outside the viral particle, but in the same region also we have a mutation. Okay, so the protein is also mutating frequently. So developing a vaccine and also developing antibody against this region also risky, because the more mutation in that region will destroy the antigenicity, so the antibody may not work, and it will destroy the antigenicity. Suppose if we develop vaccine against this region which is frequently mutated, then that region vaccine won't work. So we need a sequence which is not frequently mutated, a stable region. If we can find among all isolates of the virus, then efficient antibody production, also vaccine production is possible. But a highly mutating sequence, if we choose, then it won't work. Both antibody won't work and also vaccine also won't work. Okay, next slide, please. See here in the membrane protein. Okay, for example, in the 11th position, E is frequently mutating. So in a epitope, okay, even one amino acid is changed, the antibody may not work. Okay, will not work, I'm sure, because there's a small peptide we are using, and if one amino acid is changed, the antigenicity will be changed, and then antibody can't recognize the protein, or the vaccine, it won't work. So the mutation studies, we have to combine with the protein sequence data, and then accordingly we have to select the sequence for production of antibody and also production of vaccine. Okay, next slide, please. So this is a small envelope protein. This is very interesting protein, only 75 amino acid in it. Here in the 75 amino acid, a small portion in, okay, how many? 8 amino acid is showing outside the viral particle. And this has one hydrophobic region, okay, that is in between the membrane. And it has a very long, portion of protein, the C-terminal portion of protein inside the viral particle. So this is the small envelope protein, okay. This protein, the antigenicity of this protein is more in the hydrophobic region. Usually the transmembrane domain of any protein, they are highly, antigenic region, okay, because they are hydrophobic. Hydrophobic region are mostly antigenic, okay. So this region is effective for antibody preparation and also, vaccine preparation. But remember, for neutralization purpose, only we have 8 amino acids outside the viral particle. That's one epitope actually. For this epitope, we can develop antibody. Active virus can be neutralized. Okay, so neutralizing antibody is possible against this 8 amino acid. Okay, next slide, please. So, see here the multiple alignment of the membrane protein in various other viral of coronavirus. Coronavirus, there are many different viruses has been reported. If we compare them, this is the thing. The protein is much conserved. Okay, very little is difference we can see in the N terminal, but in C terminal, the protein is little different from virus to virus. Okay, next slide, please. So this data suggests specific antibody against the virus is not that easy. Okay, so if you see the uh, mutation rate in a small envelope protein, okay, the mutation is not found out in this envelope protein so far. That's a good thing. Okay, if such a protein, if we can select, that's a good possibility. We can use it for a vaccine and also antibody production. So far, there's not much, mutation is noted, is not noted in this gene of small envelope protein. Next slide, please. Yes, here is the spike protein. This is a 1273 amino acid protein, very large protein in size. Can I have next slide, please? So the spike, the lollipop-like structure around this virus is a spike protein. It's otherwise is called N protein. Okay, go to next slide. So here there are a lot of protease cleavage site. Protease is the enzyme that can cleave protein. So this protein has S1, S2, and S2 dash are the cleavage site of the protein. Okay, where the proteinase can cleave, the cleavage is much important for entry of the virus inside our body. Okay, so in this SARS-CoV-2, there is very unique sequence. Okay, is there in the cleavage site. For example, the site 1, S1 cleavage site. There is a insertion of 4 amino acid. People thought the insertion of 4 amino acid may be due to genetic engineering, not naturally. But many scientists also believe that recombination and such a thing is possible. Naturally, the virus could evolve. The insertion of 4 amino acids is possible to enter into the sequence of any virus naturally. And also, it's not possible, I think, it won't be, I can't say it's not possible. It won't be a genetically engineered virus. I think it's a naturally evolved virus. That's what I believe. Okay. Next slide, please. So the virus, bound on the membrane of our cell. Our cell has ACE2, membrane protein. The spike protein binds with ACE2 membrane, and then it opens the viral particle, and then the cytoplasm, in the cytoplasm of our cell, the capsid the genetic material with the nucleoprotein that enter inside our cytoplasm. From there, the infection starts. Okay, next slide, please. So the spike protein, if you see, this protein also a lot of mutation we can see. Around the 183 mutation has been found out. So it's a huge amount. So A to G mutation has been found out in this protein. In this gene, and hence, when we are selecting the area for antibody production, sequence for antibody production, and also vaccine production, we have to be careful that region should not be taken for these two purposes. Okay. Yes. Can I have next slide? Next slide. Yes, this is a nucleocapsid protein. This is around 419 amino acid in size. This protein is bound with RNA of this virus. Okay, when you compare this virus, next slide, please. When we compare this virus, this viral protein, N protein, this is highly antigenic. Especially the middle portion of this virus, this protein is highly antigenic. And that region we can choose, and it's better for antibody production and then antigen production. That means the vaccine production is possible using this virus. Is highly antigenic. Also, a lot of paper says that in the patient body, the antibody is much more in human, patient body during infection. That indicates the protein is highly antigenic. Okay, next slide, please. But if you see, this protein encoding gene also highly hotspot for mutation. A lot of mutation has been found out in that region, in the nucleocapsid protein, sequence. So that's a problem. Understand? Okay. Yeah. Next slide, please. So this is the comparison of mutant rate of a different virus. When you see the virus of the common cold in mutation rate is very high. The viral mutation rate is very, very high. But the mutation rate of smallpox virus is very low. But when we compare the coronavirus mutation rate with these two, the coronavirus mutation rate is in between these two. It's not so high, also it's not very less. Okay, it's in between these two. But we have to consider this viral propagation is so fast. It's faster than our common cold virus. So we have to divide the mutation rate with the multiplication rate, the spreading rate of this virus. Then we can say that the mutation rate of this virus is very high. Okay, that also we have to consider. Okay, next slide, please. So, for example, if we are infected by a virus, immediately in a first week to the second week of time, the immunoglobulin M will be produced. IgM will be produced immediately from the first week to second week. A lot of IgM will be produced. IgM has 5, IgG molecule. They are together, like a star-like structure. This molecule is produced first. Then on third week of time, 20th day, 21st day, third week of time, large amount of IgG is produced. Okay, this is the pattern of antibody production during infection. Then if any secondary antigen exposure, if one more time the virus is loaded in our body, immediately IgG production will be very high. Okay, the reason for such a huge production of IgG during second entry of virus, is due to two reasons. One is, the T memory cells. Another one is B memory cells. Okay, you have to know what is T cells and B cells. I'll tell you. Okay, these two are the reason for maximum production of IgG in our body during secondary exposure of antigen. That means the virus. Okay, next slide, please. Also, the coronavirus case, IgG is produced. We can see a lot in human blood. Also, it's very interesting. IgM also is there. IgA also there. IgA we can see in saliva, also in tear. Okay, so that suggests the tear has IgA. Okay, that suggests the virus may enter through eye also. Okay, so we are using the mask. Okay, what I feel after seeing those data, okay, viral entry is possible through eye also, and eye conjunctivity also has been noted in several coronavirus cases. So for some people, viral entry is through eye. Okay, a lot more study we need to confirm. Is it for all people the virus enter through the eye? That we don't know. We have to study more. Okay, but respiration also one of the entry. Okay, for the virus. Okay, really well, right? So what we are sneezing, we are releasing a lot of aerosol. The aerosol has huge amount of virus. Okay, if the patient if the individual having the infection has the aerosol will be enriched with the virus. So when we are inhaling the aerosol, we are getting the disease. Or when the aerosol, which touches with our eye, then we are getting the disease. Okay, no need to sneeze. Even living human, all living human, we have to breathe. During breathe also we are releasing aerosol. So while breathing, they are releasing aerosol, and the aerosol can reach around a couple of feet away from the body. So nearby people can inhale our aerosol, and then easily we can get the disease. That's what the distance, and the recommended distance from people to people are important to avoid the disease. Okay. Yeah. Next slide, please. So this is the important slide. So far, for a biotechnology student, I have clearly explained to you the difficulties and challenges in production of the antibody and also the vaccine. So I provide the complete information to you. Now, experts in this field, they analyze all those four proteins, and then they will select some region, like 20 amino acid or 50 amino acid or 100 amino acid. Depending upon the company, they will select the protein sequence, and then that region they will use it for production of antibody, or they can use that region for production of antigen. Okay, so now currently around 160 companies are in the race to produce antibody. For example, Russia, Sputnik 5, they already announced, okay, they are testing, they are going to release the vaccine shortly. Okay, US also, Pfizer is saying that they are ready with this vaccine. Shortly they will release. UK, Oxford University also saying that they have developed it. This is in final touch. Shortly the vaccine will be released. India, Bharat Biotech company also saying that they are shortly they are going to release the vaccine. Cuba, okay, it's a communist country, very strong country, small but very strong country. They also they have a state-funded institute. Okay, they told they have already developed the vaccine against this virus. But see here, all 16 different companies around the race, companies on the race, but who is going to win? Okay, it's very challenging. Okay, sometime all the 116 may fail. Now, a couple of them may win. I don't know. We have to wait and see. Based on the knowledge I showed you, okay, producing a vaccine against this virus is not that much easy. Okay, our knowledge on this virus is limited. Our knowledge on this virus is just 6 months. Okay, so for production of a very nice virus, for production of very nice vaccine, we need at least a couple of years. Okay, rushing the speed of experiment won't help in biology. It's not chemistry, it's biology. We have to wait and do. Okay, so time will tell. Okay, who is going to win, or the consequence we'll see later. Okay, yeah. Next slide, please. I'm saying that whether the virus particle, the vaccine production, whether it will be successful or not. Okay, I'm really suspicious because so far 14 different viral isolates has been reported around the world. Just how many months? 6 months. The virus appeared on this planet just January, okay, last January, and now 14 different viral isolates are revolving around the globe. Okay, no country is peaceful. Okay, all are suffering. Okay, and the virus is evolving. They are diversifying among them, and they are giving such a terrible, consequence for common people life. Okay, so whether the virus, the vaccine against this virus, okay, will be effective for all 14 clades of the virus is a big question. Okay, we can't say, okay, yes or no immediately. Only the experiment will prove it. Okay, but what, from my experience, what I feel, it's very challenging. May not, the vaccine production may not work. That's what I believe. Okay, yeah. Next slide. So I told that the vaccine may fail. Okay, for this virus. The reason, do you have vaccine for common cold? Okay, no, we don't have. The reason, every year the vaccine is different. The virus is morphologically different. So every year we have to make it. Okay, and also if you take it, it's not sure whether we are going to get rid of the infection. So if you are rich, you can go for the vaccination. still it's not, completely mm, safe. Okay, we can't, we can protect the viral infection using that vaccine. That's a case of, common cold. So now, see here, so far 48,000 COVID-19 viral genome has been sequenced. So SARS-CoV-2, 48,000 genome has been sequenced. All biotechnology students, please remember, all sequences are free. You can download. And if you have interest, if you want to analyze, you can do it. Any help you need, I can help you. Okay. And you can sequence, sequence you can compare, and whatever you want, you can do it for betterment of man. Okay. And when we analyze all those sequences, one thing is very clear. From isolate to isolate, 7 mutations we can see. For example, patient 1, if you see the sequence and compare with the sequence of the patient 2 virus, okay, 7 difference we can see. Means the virus is evolving so fast. So 7 mutation per sample, that's huge. That's terrible, So that I'm saying the vaccine may not work. Okay, that's the reason I'm saying the vaccine may not work, because from the patient to patient, we can see 7 mutation. Okay, that's terrible. Okay, next slide, please. See here, this is the little bit immunology. It's a development of T memory cell. T cell is a cell. T cell is a cell. Okay, that can detect the foreign body in our body. Yeah, 1 minute. Okay, so the T cells are detective like cells. They can detect pathogens inside the body. If any pathogens entered into the body, T cell can identify. Okay, as I told before, pathogen also made up of 5 different macromolecules: DNA, RNA, protein, lipid, carbohydrate. Our cells also, our tissues also, made up of the 5 different macromolecules. Now, T cell helps. Which is our cell? Which is foreign cell? The T cell helps. Also, the T cell, upon exposure to a pathogen, upon exposure to a virus, the T cell can develop the memory cell. Okay, so the memory cell can protect us from the viral particle for the next time. Suppose if you are infected, after the infection, the T cell, the memory T cell, they can protect you from the next round of infection. Okay, it's not possible. Second time the virus infection is not possible. But in the case, still some questions are there. I'll tell you later. Okay, next slide, please. So see here, this also the same. So upon infection, the T helper cell, they proliferate more. Then after completely eradication of the pathogen, the T cells are dying. Okay, and some are alive. Okay, they are the memory cells. They protect you from the secondary, for the second time infection. One more round of infection, mostly not possible. But in this case of corona, we have to study more, okay, to confirm it. Okay, yeah, next slide. So next slide is a development of B cell memory. B cell is a cell that can produce antibody. So if a person is infected, the T cell will recognize and it understand the structure of the viral particle. Accordingly, it will produce an antibody. And also the T cell will develop memory cell. Okay, the plasma cell is an antibody producing cell, and they produce memory cell also. The memory cell lives in our body for a long time. Definitely, they can protect us from second infection. The same virus it can enter into our body. Okay, if we have B memory cells. Okay, yeah, next slide, please. So here it's very interesting. Okay, in a severe case of corona, B memory cell are produced. Okay, in severe case of corona, okay, T memory cell are produced. Okay, so sure. In the mild case, because see here the death rate of the virus the death rate of the patients is around 4%. Okay, so 96% people are escaping from the disease. Okay, 96% of people are escaping the disease. First, many of them, more than 80%, mild infection is happening. So in the mild infection case, 31 people were tested and 27 people, they produced the, B cell memory. Okay, so 4% they didn't see any B cell memory. So mild case, this is the scenario. And like T cell memory, almost all they got the T cell memory. If just one, they didn't get any T cell memory. So that's the case. Okay. So B cell memory is less in the mild case, and T cell memory is high in the mild case. But we have more B cell memory. It's very strong immune tool that can protect us. But in the population, okay, this is small number of patients, data I could see. But what about the population of the entire Calicut or entire Chennai city? Okay, that we have to work a lot. Okay, that we don't have the data. But, in a big cities like New York or Sweden, people already work. Okay, investing a lot of money, they work. They found out the total community, around 30% of people already they got B cell memory. T cell memory already they got. Okay, so population slowly getting the immunity against this virus. More than 30% of people already having T cell memory. So from this observation, we can predict the pandemic will be over by October. Okay, so a couple of months more. Okay, shortly the problem will be solved because all people, including you and me, will get T cell memory. And the T cell memory will stop the pandemic problem. So deadline for the viral disease, okay, is October. So this is, we can say that it's a herd immunity. That means T cell immunity. Okay. So another critic also there here. Some scientists believe the T cell memory is not enough. It's not completely protective against viral disease. Okay. So some people are thinking that way also. Okay. So it's still we have to wait. Okay. But I feel shortly by October, the problem will be solved. Okay. Next slide, please. Yes. So till the time, wash your hands frequently. Don't touch your eyes and nose and mouth. If you touch, please wash your hands again. And, be safe in your home. Avoid unnecessary visit to market or other places. Okay, stay home safely. And, and that really good for your family also. Okay, and thank you. Next slide, please. Thank you. If you have any question, I'll answer you.
Hello, Somi. Okay. Thank you, sir, for the wonderful session. Somi, now you may take up the charge, please.
Before my vote of thanks, I extend my sincere apology for the delay in starting the seminar. So kindly forgive me for that. On behalf of the department, I extend for the informative talk and really shared your vast knowledge of virus.
Excuse, Somi,
Yes.
Somi, please hold on. Somi, hello. Okay, and now the session is open for discussion, and afterwards Somi will propose the vote of thanks. Please. The session is open for discussion. Am I audible? Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, okay. Now the session, as Sudhakar sir has said, the session is open for discussion. If you need any clarification to make, please make now. Hello. If you need any clarification, it's a time for you to make it. And in chat box, there will be a link, a feedback form for certification purpose, and it will be shared soon. I request you to fill up the form, Google form. And the session is open for discussion. If you have any queries, Sudhakar sir is very pleased to clear
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah, one question somebody wrote in text box. Raghavan,
Okay,
I
sure.
think, Raghavendra G. Okay, he's asking why the cell-mediated immunity is not effective for all people. Okay, the course answer is very simple. We don't know. We don't know. Okay, we have to wait for little bit more research output. Then only we can explain the detail. Okay, actually, T cell memory should be with all. Also, even though it's a mild infection, B cell memory also should be, but it's not. Why? Okay, we don't know. We have to wait. Okay, for the better understanding of the immunology. Okay. Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any more queries?
Actually, if I present physically in your college, minimum like 30, 40 question used to
Yeah,
come.
of course, sir. Of course, sir.
Okay,
We
you
realize it's all
mostly,
because of the
rather
technical
than this
glitch. Yeah.
lecture, rather than the lecture, the interaction session is always sweet. Okay,
Yes.
so how do you feel? What is in your mind? If you open, that's what we want. Because
Yes, of course, sir.
because the youngsters should come up. When if you think right now in the age of like 20, if you think about the problem, you have another long life. You have very long life. You can develop yourself as a very big person. Okay, so in such a program, slowly you have to ask questions. Okay, and if you open yourself,
Yes, of
then
course, sir. Of course, sir.
then
Now,
then
participants,
yeah,
it's an exhortation to you, and we have one question in chat box, sir.
okay,
We have one question, one query in chat box.
I'll check. Yeah, so he's saying that yes, I told from sample to sample 7 mutation we could see. So that's a worry whether this vaccine is will work or not. So based on this information, you know, the vaccine is challenging. Okay, so highly stable sequence we have to take, and we have to generate vaccine. See, remember, AIDS virus is a very notorious one, and still, lot 20 years more is already gone. And after discovering of this virus, till today we don't have any vaccine against this virus. Reason, the virus is rapidly mutating. Okay, so the structural protein is much different from isolate to isolate. So we couldn't get the vaccine. Okay, the same case may be here also. Okay, maybe. Okay, otherwise any smart student or researcher may find out something meaningful, may work also. So the time only will tell us. Okay, yes. Okay, see another question very interesting. Again, Raghavendra Ji, can we modify ACE2 receptor? We can't modify. If you modify, then it's a very big problem. Okay, so this ACE2 receptor, that regulate the uh, the protein has its own function. Okay, the oxygen flow from the cell, the blood vessels to cell, is controlled by the ACE2 receptor. Okay, now if we mutate or if we change, it won't work. We'll die. Okay, so we can't touch ACE2. Okay, but some for the drug industry, they can work okay differently. Okay, it's possible we can use this knowledge to stop this infection. But ACE2 receptor, if we change, it won't work. It's very dangerous.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And please, students, any more queries? So there is a question. What is about immunotherapy? Immunotherapy, sir. There is one question from Fahida.
Yeah. Immunotherapy means specific antibody, neutralizing antibody. If you have, we can inject to the patients. Okay. Otherwise, simply what we can do, a lot of people are escaping the disease. 100 people are infected. Only 4% are critical. Okay, chances to be dead is for only 4%. So 96% people are healthy. What we can do, collect some blood from the recovered people, collect some blood, and then prepare the plasma. Then we can put it back into critical people. So that the plasma of people, okay, having a lot of antibody and also a lot of factors which can kill the virus, the plasma have. So we can inject the plasma back to the critical people, and we can save people. That's what for the case of Ebola, okay, in Africa people did. Okay, that worked really nice. But I think in Kerala it's in practice. Very beginning itself, the Kerala government took some effort for the plasma treatment. It's very nice treatment actually. It's good old treatment, but I don't know why in India, okay, all other state is not following. Okay, only risk before transfusing the plasma, you have to check variety of other disease, whether the donor having any disease like AIDS or some other problem. Okay, we have to check. Okay, if the plasma is good in quality, okay, then it's very good medicine for the disease. We can save a lot of life. Okay, that's sure.
Okay, thank you, sir.